Hello folks, happy like New Year and stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna show you how you can get inbounds for your editing business or whatever, because you're probably struggling right now to get good inbounds, and whenever you do get inbounds, they're probably not very good, and that's why you're watching this video. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm gonna go through the regular shtick. These are some of the past inbounds that I've had. So yeah, you don't have to know who these guys are, but you can see their numbers, they're pretty big. They aren't kids channels. Like, it's pretty easy to work with kids channels, and kids channels have huge numbers, but these guys make like their own legitimate content, right? Am I going to show you any proof? No. Am I going to show you my DMs? No. You're going to have to take my word for it. And if you don't believe me, that's fine, whatever. Right? But either way, I'm going to show you how the entire kind of like social system works. You know, how every social circle intertwines, and how tipping points happen, how societal trends happen, how things can blow up, how things work with one another in different networks of people, right? So what you're going to do to get your inbounds, and what you probably should be doing if you don't do this already, is you're going to take your video from your clients, so the video that you just edited for your clients, and you're going to chop them up into the best parts and make it about 30 to 60 seconds long, and you're going to upload it to Twitter, and you're going to call this your highlight reel. So that could be like the highlight reel of January, or my recent highlight reel, or highlight reel for this person, or intro for this person, whatever. You're going to make a post of your best work in recent times, right? And you're going to compile it into your little VLC video here. You're going to upload it straight to Twitter. Now, who does this reach immediately? Who are the first people that usually see your tweets? It is usually the people in your closest circle. So the closest circle of editors that you know are going to see it first. You're going to send it to your friends, and you're going to say, hey guys, please go support it, go like and reply and retweet, and do all of these things. And if they don't like it at least, then you probably just have bad friends, right? Nonetheless, you send it to your friends, and then one of your friends is going to be an outlier. There's this theory from Malcolm Gladwell, who's an author. He believes there's three kinds of people in the world: mavens, salesmen, connectors. And connectors are the people that you want to be friends with, because they are the ones who are acquainted or interconnected with a bunch of different social circles and different networks of people, but they aren't like, I don't think they'll be terribly like your best mates, right? Because that would require time, and they just like meeting new people, right? These connectors are the kinds of people who hold the power for societal trends, tipping points, cultural movements, fashion trends, TikTok trends, editing style trends, right? So yeah, so one of these guys will see this and like it, and then at some point, other people that he knows will see it. These guys will see your tweet because he liked it, and they all know him, okay? And these guys and yourself know him. So then this now moves to this next circle. And this could be like your friends' friends, or this could be like editors that maybe do know you, have heard of you, don't know you, right? And bear in mind, this is only for like one person who knows other people, right? This could be the same reaction happening to all 6 people here, right? And then what happens is, when this friends of friends see it, and then let's say one of them like it, or, kind of like respond to it, is now like you've got another circle that are seeing it. And then, they've got their friends, or editor friends, or their clients, or creators, or managers. They follow them and him, and then, back to you, right? Now, these guys could maybe have heard of you. They probably have seen your work, but they haven't been totally convinced of, hiring you or doing anything with you. Now, let's say they are, then they are going to like it. And then look, now we've got 2 social circles here who are getting involved. So again, remember that like, if we were to like move all of these, then we would find out that if all of these guys liked it, then there would be like a ton of social circles, kind of finding out who you are and saying, oh wow, look at this guy, right? And then they could like it, they could not. But here's the thing, most people, they don't get to this part. I can guarantee you probably haven't gotten to this part. Maybe they haven't heard of you because you're just not very big, or you haven't made anything impressive enough to have been heard. Now I'm going to show you where you go wrong with your tweets and with your idea of like networking or, you know, trying to get inbounds or marketing or whatever, right? Just basically getting eyes from other people. And how you don't really ever reach this, right? So I'm going to explain to you how all of that works now. Let's say, for example, okay, so let's say, for example, you send it to one friend, and then the other friend sends it to him, and then he sends it to him, and, you know, he finds out about you or whatever, right? Now, you could probably see this coming from a mile away. Oh, obviously, if we send it around to each other, you know, then it's not going to go anywhere, so we have to send it to more people. And you can recognize that when it's a small number, right? Now, this is a diagram of Dunbar's theory. Dunbar's theory it talks about cohorts and networks of people. So, for example, at a maximum, 1,500 people could recognize, you could recognize, and you could be acquainted with 500 people. You'll have a personal network. Like, you can't really make a personal network of people beyond 150 people, and close network and sympathy group and support click. So, for example, these first few guys in like the social circle or the close circle, this would be like your support click. These are like the editors you go to say, hey guys, can I get some feedback on this? What do you guys think? These are the kind of guys that you'll probably get really close with. You'll have these kind of deep talks maybe. And yeah, and then you'll go to your sympathy group. So other editors you may know, you may talk to, you guys can probably talk about some things. And then close network, and then it gets a bit more distant every time, right? So the bigger the people, the more distant it is. So you can't really have all the friends in the world, right? Because if you split that energy between, like, let's say 1,500 people, you won't really be great friends with 1,500 people, because that takes a lot of time and energy to maintain, and you can't do that. So we only stick to the 5, right? You've got the 5 closest people. Now, you could probably recognize if you send it to your close circle, your support click, right? Then it's only going to go round and round and round and round like this. So you're like, okay, I'm going to send it to more people and more people and more people. And then when you tweet it, it's like, you could probably get up to like 50 people, right? But then at some point, it's going to reach other people. And this is where the judgment comes in, because they don't know you, right? They've probably, you know, heard of you, or they could probably recognize you, right? But they don't particularly care enough to support you. And then it goes from like, I'm going to support him because he's my friend, to, should I really support him? Is he that good enough to deserve my support? We don't particularly spot this because we feel like we know most of the people. Like, we feel like we know most of the editors anyways. Like, there's always more editors you just don't realize. I used to think that every editor knew me, and I knew like every editor back in like 2023. And then I started posting tutorials, and people that have never heard of me saying like, wow, this guy's very valuable tutorials and stuff. And I'm like, that's so weird. I could have, and then I got like a bunch more followers, and I thought like, oh wow, I didn't think that was possible. There's more people on Twitter than you'd think, turns out, right? How can we ensure that we get a bunch of inbounds with all of this weird information, right? Well, let me tell you one thing, okay? All of these people look to each other for support, for innovation, for ideas. So for example, all of these editors will look to each other, right? So for example, if you have this group, friend 1 looks at friend 2's work, friend 2 looks at friend 3 looks at friend 4 looks at you, right? And if you guys consistently look at each other's work, you're going to be like, oh guys, we're obviously not going to make anything new if we keep looking at each other, right? And again, you understand that because it's a small amount of people, it's your support click. But what happens when you take that to a level of 500 to 1,500 people, right? You're probably going to think, oh, there's so many people I can get ideas from. There's so many impressive editors I can get ideas from. But now you all do the same thing. So now you have like, if I go here, right? So you've got all of these groups kind of looking to each other, but they don't realize that everything goes in one big circle. So for example, this group, your group, will now look to these guys, and these guys will look to everyone else, but they'll also look at you. And then you'll look at them, and they'll also look at you, whilst you're all, you know, let's say this is your group, you're all looking at them, hoping to get some ideas. But at the same time, they're also looking at you. All of these guys are looking at you, they're looking at each other, and you guys are kind of looking to one another for some kind of, I don't want to say leader, but somebody to give them that like bit of extra creative oomph, to make something new, to make something cool, to make something awesome. So then what happens is, let's say we've got somebody new come in, right? We've got a completely new editor, but he's not really new. He's new to Twitter, but he's been editing for like 2 years. Now, what's going to happen is he does not know you guys. He's not met any of these editors. These, like, let's say 1,500 editors. He's never met them. And I'm not saying 1,500 is how many editors there are. There's a market of tens of thousands, okay? So let's just say one guy comes in, he posts his work, but he's been editing for like 2 years, right? So 2 years, he posts, and then he doesn't really have a close circle, but whoever sees it first, sees it first. They're like, wow, this is so good, this is so unique. Next person, wow, so good, so unique. And then it spreads and spreads and spreads. And then it's not just like one guy, by the way. It's everyone. Because you know what? The one thing people strive for, the one thing editors strive for is novelty. And when editors are looking for this novelty, when editors are looking for these ideas, they are going to cherish it. So one guy who's been editing for like 2 years could impress everyone. But the thing that impresses everyone isn't the fact that he's been editing for 2 years. It's the fact that he managed to think of things that they couldn't. But the only reason that he's able to think of things that others can't is because he was never around. He was never around you guys to try and get ideas in the first place. All of the ideas he got was from his own personal experience, right? He got everything by himself. Now, had he joined Twitter the same time he started editing, he would be editing just like you guys. You wouldn't give him a thought of day. You wouldn't think to look at him and say, yeah, he's impressive, right? Maybe a tiny bit, but he's nothing crazy different. So when some new anomaly joins and everyone loves him, it's like, wow, it goes to like so many social circles, right? Now, some of them probably would think, oh, nothing special about this guy. Some will. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to hire them, right? Someone's going to hire them, whether it be like, fucking Mr. Beast, or whether it be like some random guy with like 130,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? Someone's going to hire them after having all of these like people liking the tweets and supporting it, and the algorithm pushes it. I'm not giving you Twitter advice, by the way. I'm just telling you how like people work, right? This is just how people work. This is how editors work, right? Editors, they need somebody to jump out, right? So they need like the one little person to jump out of the anomaly, right? Go do his own thing, and then they'll all look to him. Because he won't be going to all of these people in the same cycles looking for the same advice. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to take the bravery to have his own journey, to learn by himself, which is much harder when you're not in this cohort of people. But at the same time, you need somebody to break the monotony to eventually make different work. Now, you may probably not realize it because it's very slow progress, but everyone's slowly making the same work. And then at some point, you guys, like, it will take forever, right? Considering there's like so many editors out there, it would take lifetimes for you guys to eventually make the same amount of work. But if we got no new members, if nobody new joined this editing Twitter community, right? And we all lived forever. At some point, I can guarantee you, at some point, you would all start having the same ideas. You would make the exact same videos. Obviously, the brain has a lot of, it can go through a lot of ideas. It can create a lot. But at some point, mathematically, you guys would make the exact same stuff. Because you're all exposed to each other and each other's ideas. And it's just the same shit over and over and over again. So you're going to need somebody to break that monotony. So I can guarantee you, if somebody new came into the scene and they've already been editing by themselves, and they haven't had like this big cohort of people to look to, everyone's going to be impressed. Everyone's going to be like, wow, you're so good. You're so different. And editors need that. They need that monotony. So they praise them, and then that pushes, and then it goes to other algorithms. Not other algorithms. That algorithm reaches other creators and other people, right? So you're probably thinking, okay, Danny, that's cool and all, but what about me? I'm not new. I've been on Twitter. I know other editors. They've seen my work. What do I do, right? Because I can't just like start anew, right? I've already been exposed to everyone else's work. First of all, the work that you make has to be good, first and foremost. And you're probably wondering, what does good mean? Good is subjective. Having good, like for example, some guy who's been editing for 3 months could find almost anything impressive, right? Someone who's been editing for years probably has a higher standard. So the better you are, the more people you impress. But at some point, the chain stops. So let's say all of these guys had like, you know, a like emoji, right? Let's say all of these guys, I'm not going to copy and paste it, but let's say all of them did. At some point, the chain will stop and someone will say, yeah, this doesn't really impress me, okay? So obviously, you've just got to be better and better and better and better. And it's subjective, of course, but the better you are, the more people you impress, okay? Simply put, okay? Now, second of all, when it comes to actually climbing this chain and having other, like editors, for example, be impressed, you need to be unique and you need to have unique ideas. And what does that mean? It just don't look at the same editors you always do. Don't keep looking to the same editors all the time. Do you really think that, you know, stealing like an artist is a good idea if everybody else steals like an artist? If you all have the same tactic, you're all making the same work, you just don't realize it. You think you're different, but you're not. And I can guarantee you, your work is not as good as I think it is. And it is definitely not as unique as you think it is. So, start exposing yourself to other people's work. And, yeah, that's basically about it. But if that all sounds like terrible, just amounts of work, like if it just sounds like too much to do, then no worries. I can help you out. I help editors get better. I help editors become unique. I help editors just get good at their work so they can start scaling their prices and make more money from editing. Or, you know, just get good at editing if that's what you want. And if that sounds like somebody, you know, you're already an editor, you're not like new, you've been editing for like, fuck knows, but you're already on a decent income. And all you want to do is, you know, simply just get better, whether that be to make more money or you just want to get better. I can show you how to increase your inbounds kind of like this. Click the first link below. You'll see all the details there for the kind of people that I like to help. What we're going to be talking about. It'll be a call, right? I'm going to be so straight. You'll be booking a call and we can talk further, right? So I'm not going to give you like an entire coaching. I'm not going to give you exactly what to do on the call because that would take forever, right? But we can talk further, see how I can help you beyond just the call. We can talk strategy there. And we can talk further. But yeah, first link in the video, in the description. You get the gist, yada, yada, yada. I hope this was of value to you guys. And bye-bye.